Hello and welcome to the Positive Mindset Tribe, a refreshing and empowering podcast on how to become a magnet for love, abundance, and joy. And as you have probably guessed, it all starts with your mindset. I am your host, Verónica Moreno, a mindset coach, therapist, and energy healer, and my mission is to share with you my most powerful tips, psychological tools, energy healing techniques, so you can manifest the joyful, meaningful, and successful life you deserve. Are you ready for your weekly dose of motivation, confidence, and empowerment? Let's get started. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of 2023 of the Positive Mindset Tribe. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and I wish you 2023 full of love, joy, and abundance. May this year bring you all the happiness you deserve. I hope you had a nice break with time to rest or spend time with your loved ones, or maybe this time of the year is busy at work for you. Whatever way you ended the year, I hope you're now ready for the year ahead and looking forward to it. I know it's been a 2-week break since our last episode. I've had a lovely Christmas in Madrid, in Spain, where I'm from. And I have to say that spending time with my loved ones, my family and friends, many of whom I hadn't seen in 3 years due to all the travel restrictions and all this recent global drama. So it made me very, very happy, and I feel very recharged after having spent some quality time with them. So no rest for me, but yeah, in whatever way you spend the end of the year, I hope you're now ready for the year ahead. So normally when we approach the end of a year, or the beginning of a new year is close, we can get emotional. We might want to reflect on how our life is going, if we're following the right path. Sometimes we might feel a bit anxious as the energies around us change, and sometimes there is a bit of pressure about Christmas and having to be perfect and so many social commitments. So it can be a stressful time, and then the pressure of, oh my God, another year, what am I doing with my life? So it can be, the energies around are changing. We can feel a bit of pressure, and it can be quite a challenging time for many people. So in this episode, I want to give you some tips so you can start the year on the right foot. So I'm going to be covering how to do a year-end review for those of you who haven't done a year-end review yet, or maybe want to do a deeper one, because we tend to assess our year based on achievements, right? But I want to share with you some tips and some key questions to ask yourself that you might not be expecting, other than the typical year-end review questions like what went well, what went wrong, what have I done this year, etc., etc. And also I'm going to be covering how to do intention setting and manifestation techniques to make your dreams come true in 2023. So what is this whole intention setting and manifestation about, and how to actually make it to work? Because there is a lot of misunderstandings. There are lots of misunderstandings about the manifestation idea, thinking that you just there are some magical techniques where you can just click your fingers and make a Ferrari appear outside of your houses, and it's not quite how it works. So this is what I'm going to be covering. I will give you lots of tips, advice, and techniques that I've found very useful for me and for my clients. So if you want to start the year on the right foot and make sure that this year you're going to be focused on achieving what you really want to achieve, to make your true essence, to reconnect with your true essence and make things happen, this is going to be a good episode for you. The first tip that I'm going to give you before we go into any details about how to do a year-end review or how to set intentions, how to manifest, the first tip I can give you is that you commit to spending some quality time on it. So I remember that when I was flying to Madrid, I was on the plane, and that's how I was doing my year-end review. And I thought, well, I'm surrounded by a lot of people. I'm so tired after waiting at the airport. Maybe this is not the best place to do a proper year-end review. So when I came back on the 31st of December, I spent some time in my bedroom, lit up some candles, took some time, meditated a bit first to make sure that my mind was quiet and calm. So don't rush it. Don't just write a few notes on the train to work about what has worked and what hasn't. Spend some quality time on it. Make sure you're not going to be disturbed. Make sure you can relax. So by quality time, I mean what this might involve. First of all, finding a quiet space where you feel cozy and comfortable, where you can just close your eyes and go within. So probably the tube is not the best place to do this. And this can be indoors. This can be a room in your house where you feel comfortable, where you have your, personal items handy, maybe some crystals, maybe some candles, something that feels right for you, that feels ceremonial for you. It could also be outdoors. It could also be in nature. I find it very, very powerful. Obviously, weather permitting, and also maybe a crowded park is also not the best idea. But if you know of a quiet outdoor space, this can be very beautiful because of the energies of nature, especially if you're surrounded by trees, by plants. But the main thing is that you feel comfortable, that you are able to relax, to close your eyes, to go within, to maybe do a bit of meditation or say some prayers. The second thing, turn off notifications and make sure you're not going to be disturbed. So if you have your kids running around, also probably you're not going to be able to go very deep because you're going to have to be alert all the time. So maybe it's better to wait until everyone goes to bed and make sure that you're not going to be disturbed, that no one's going to open the door, that no one's going to interrupt you, because I think it's worth taking that time to go deep. And when you are alert, expecting a phone call or someone to open the door, you're not going to go that deep. It's not going to be as powerful. And like I said, take your time. Don't rush it. Don't just write a few notes quickly and put it in a drawer and forget about it. Make it kind of a ceremony, again, by lighting up some candles or having some objects that mean something to you, maybe some elements of nature. But make it kind of a ceremonial space, kind of a ritual, because the more you charge it emotionally, even if it's by saying goodbye to what you are leaving behind in 2022 or what you want to attract and bring into 2023, if it's emotionally charged, it's going to be much more powerful. So that's the first thing before we even start about the details. Right, so year-end review. What is this about? This might sound like something very serious, like company accounts or something like that, but it is not. It is not. And actually, I think this is a very important thing to do that we tend to do at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, but this is something that we should be doing more often. This is something that we should be doing every month or every 3 months or every 6 months. To stop and reflect on how our life is going, because otherwise we're going to get caught in the hamster wheel, in the busyness of the day-to-day to-dos, and we can forget about the big picture, about how our life is going, about what direction our life is taking. So this is something that you will hear everyone does around the end of the year or New Year, but this is something that we should do more often. Having said that, this time we're going to focus on doing it for 2022 and 2023. So the first question to ask yourself when you start a year-end review is, what is your definition of success? Not society's definition of success, not your parents, not your spouse, your definition of success. And normally, especially because society values richness, money, achievements, having a fancy car, having a good job, we tend to measure success by achievements, by material things. Or we might be measuring our success based on our family or society's expectations and definition of success. So the very first step here is to understand your values, your priorities, what really matters to you. And this is the very first step. And I'm going to be sharing a lot more details about finding your true values, priorities, and getting clarity about this in a future episode, in our next episode. But for now, I want you to spend some time and think what success means to you. What makes it a good year? Because for you, maybe it will be about career achievements if you're at a time in your life where you are focused on your career, your work, what you can offer to the world. But maybe for you, the priority right now is your spiritual development. Maybe for you, the priority is to spend time with quality time with loved ones. And there is no right or wrong. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It is about you and your values and your priorities. So for example, and also note that this can change with time. So for example, for me, the last few years have had very different a very different focus. So for example, 2021, for me, the priorities, because of all the world events and how I was transforming myself and how things were going on for me, my priority was my spiritual development. And I spent the year doing a lot of training, a lot of inner work, a lot of healing, it was all about my self-development. So I kind of put aside my career or my business or creating content and doing sessions because I felt that my priority was my spiritual development. So for someone whose priorities are about career and achievements, that year would have sucked, right? But because for me, my priorities were about spirituality and my development, that ended being quite a good year. Now, this year, 2022, well, it's 2023 already, but 2022, the year after, because I had done all that healing, I felt that I was prepared to give. So 2022 was about healing, was about myself. 2022 was about giving, was about putting work. So 2022, I did a lot of, I focused on making a lot of content, focusing on doing my sessions. I did a lot of volunteering and community work. So everything is being kind of outwards, whereas 2021 was a very inwards year. Now, if my definition of success, the first thing I need to understand to assess if the year has been successful or not is what is my priority for the year. So if I were measuring success based on career achievements, 2021 would have been a terrible year because it was mainly about healing and about learning and about the inner work. But that was not my priority. That changed, right? So that's the first question you need to ask yourself. What is your definition of success? What are your priorities for the year? And that will change. That can change every year. That can change every few months. It can stay the same for 10 years, but keep in mind that it can change. So it's very important to understand not only where you're at, not only what you have done, what you have achieved, but what your priorities are. The second key question to ask yourself is, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to leave behind and not carry into 2023, because I know that it's no longer serving me, because I know that it's holding me back from manifesting my dreams, because it's holding me back from achieving the success I want and that I know I deserve. So what do I want to leave behind? What do I not want to carry into 2023? So again, here you can spend some time thinking about any beliefs, any patterns that have repeated in 2022 or that you have carried from previous years. Just try to identify, the beliefs, stories, patterns, or maybe even relationships that are not good for you. And for this, you can do a simple ceremony. For example, what I did is I wrote a list of all the things I either want to let go of or that I know I still need to heal. And what I did was a simple fire ceremony, which I did in my bedroom with a candle. So it doesn't need to be anything fancy. You don't need a bonfire for this. Obviously, if you have the opportunity to gather with some local friends, and if you have a garden, if you can make a big fire, that's amazing, even better. But not everyone has access to this. So I did it in my bedroom with a candle. And what I did is I wrote in little pieces of paper the things I want to let go of. And then I used some toothpicks. And these pieces of paper and toothpicks that represent what you want to let go of, you burn them in the candle. So what I did is I was focusing on bringing to mind the emotions related to those things that I wanted to let go of. So for example, let's say you want to let go of your worries about money or fear about uncertainty, right? So you would either write it, or with a toothpick, for example, you could just close your eyes and blow into the toothpick what you want to let go of. Just concentrate it on the emotion that this idea brings you, and you blow it, to start the energy release, to set the intention that you are letting this out of your body, of your energy system. And then you burn it in with a candle, with a plate, and you put it in the plate. And as you watch it burn, I personally find that it's very powerful, the fire, because it's so transformational, and you can see anything you burn turning into ashes. So visually, it's very transformational. The brain sometimes needs that to integrate change, and it can be a great catalyst for change. So see, a candle and a few pieces of paper, that's all you need. And that's what I did, because I didn't want, it's winter, I didn't want to be outside, I didn't want to do anything fancy or complicated. And that's what I did. And the third question to ask yourself is, what am I grateful for? Gratitude is one of the highest frequency emotions, and gratitude is actually something that we should practice daily. Every single day, spend 2 minutes practicing gratitude. And when I mean practicing gratitude, I mean just close your eyes, bring your hands to the heart, and think of people, events, things you have in your life that you are grateful for. And try this, honestly, whenever you're feeling low, take some time to think about the things or people that you are grateful for, and see how your mood changes almost in an instant. It's kind of magical, to be honest. The main problem is that we tend to forget about these things. But if you remember, anytime you're feeling low, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling worried, you could stop and just take a few minutes to think about gratitude. Your mood, your mindset will change instantly. So, and it's kind of two sides of the same coin. What do I want to let go of, and what am I grateful for? And even regarding the things you want to let go of maybe even if you have experienced unpleasant events in 2022, which probably we all have done, it's about being grateful for the lessons because in every unpleasant experience or event, there is a lesson to learn. And that's why they happen. They don't happen randomly. I don't believe in luck. So I feel that if I'm put in an unpleasant situation or I'm facing a challenge, is because I can grow by facing it, and there is a lesson I need to learn. So I know this can be a bit more tricky to digest, but be grateful not only for the, let's say, positive or pleasant, joyful things like, oh, I went to the Caribbean, I had so much fun, or I had an amazing birthday party with my friends, or I bought this new car I love. Think about, right, in these challenges, in these difficult experiences I had, what did I learn? And be grateful for. And that's also a way to heal and to integrate that experience. So those 3 questions for me are key. What is your definition of success? Your values, your priorities? What do I need to let go of? And what am I grateful for? And obviously from here, you can do some journaling with the typical questions about what went well, what went wrong, what would you like to do more of next year, what you will want to do less of. Make a list of pleasant and unpleasant moments, the experiences you've had, the people you've met, the books you've read, I don't know, whatever you feel like. Just spend some time looking back and reflecting on how the year went. And this will give you a lot of insights on how you want to approach 2023. Because and this is also a very important point, when we look back on the previous year or the period we are assessing, we might be thinking, it wasn't that successful. Actually, I wasted a lot of time and I didn't achieve this, nor that, and I made this mistake. Yeah, fine, we all do. So don't judge, right? We are spending some time reflecting on how the year went, not to judge, not to punish ourselves, not to feel guilty, with the only purpose to decide how we want to approach the year ahead or the next period, to understand what we want to change, to continue growing, to continue improving ourselves. Not to judge, not to punish ourselves, and not to feel guilty. This is very, very important. And also, like I said, because we can get caught in the hamster wheel and all the details, and we tend to lose perspective of how our life is going, of the big picture, when we are focused too much on the details. And many people make this mistake, and then when they're older and they realize they've wasted their life in a job they hate, or they realize they have lived their life, I don't know, based on someone else's expectations, not following their calling, they deeply regret it. And I have read many stories about people in their deathbed regretting, and giving advice and saying, don't live your life based on someone else's expectations. Be true to yourself, and they regret not having stopped and thought about the direction their life was taking. And by the time they realized, it was too late. So don't let this happen to you. This is one of the main reasons, for example, I changed my career, because I pictured this and I was reading about this and I thought, right, I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to be about to die and thinking, oh my God, I wasted my life doing something meaningless. I didn't use my talents. I didn't help anyone. I was just in a job that I found meaningless just to make money. And that was kind of a good wake up calling to me to hear about these testimonials and these experiences. So I don't want to get too dramatic here. I'm not saying you should have to completely change your life, but it is important that we take some time every now and then to just reflect, to just assess how our life is going, if we are happy with the direction our life is taking, if we feel fulfilled, if we feel happy, if our life has meaning before it's too late. And the new year is a great excuse to take some time and do this, hence this episode today. Right, so that's with regards to the year-end review. Now moving on to intention setting and manifestation. Again, here the most important thing is to be clear on your definition of success, on your priorities and your values. And I promise I will make an episode next week with lots more details about this, but I didn't want to make this episode too long. But spend some time thinking about what will make 2023 a good year for you. Not for others, not based on society's rules or expectations, for you. What are your priorities? And when it comes to manifestation, there are too many ideas. Before I get into details, you've probably heard about manifestation or the law of attraction. And let me tell you something. It is a great tool to visualize yourself in the future and to make it happen. But in my experience, there is no quick fix. So there is not a magical trick where you click your fingers and you manifest a £3 million house. It doesn't work like that. And that's why I want to go and share some ideas about how I understand intention setting and manifestation. Obviously, if you go out there will be other people telling you that this is the best way to manifest what you want, and there are lots of meditations and techniques. Take the ones that resonate with you. Obviously, what I'm sharing here is based on what I've studied and my own experience and what I've seen with the clients I work with. So two main ideas when it comes to manifestation. First one, you need to visualize what you want to achieve with as many details as possible. But don't worry about the how. What does this mean? So for example, if I want to have an abundance life where I have a good salary every month to afford, rent and to be able to have a comfortable life, what I would focus on is on having that abundant life, on having my needs covered rather than manifesting £3,000 a month. So the how, or for example, if you're thinking about if you want to change your career, instead of thinking, right, I want to move to this job where I do this and this and this every day, and I make this amount of money, and this is the people I work with, and this is the product I sell. I would focus, obviously, if you have a clear idea because you're an artist, because you're creative, or because you offer a service. Yeah, but what I mean is focus on the what, focus on visualizing days of work that are fulfilling, that make you happy, and let the how to the universe. So if that is by opening a shop or having an online business or by getting a job or by working for yourself, let the how to the universe. Visualize the what and leave room for the how. And that's how, because when we want things our way, first we can limit ourselves, and that might not be the way that is in our highest interest. So if I have a debt and what I want is for that debt to go, instead of focusing on I want to win the lottery so I have that money to call off the debt, I would focus on I am debt free. I don't have this debt anymore. Money flows to me easily. And that could be by winning the lottery. That could be by getting a new job. That could be by, a gift that someone randomly gives you. That could be by inheriting something you weren't expected. So that's what I mean by visualizing the what and leaving space for the how, and let that to the universe. And the second main idea is that when you're visualizing yourself in the future, so for example, let's say you want to manifest a partner, not only it's important that you visualize yourself with that partner and that you make a list of qualities or skills that your ideal partner would have, you need to focus on the elevated emotions. And this is a concept by Joe Dispenza. If you haven't heard about Joe Dispenza, please go to YouTube right now and search for some of his videos. Actually, his books are better because he doesn't... his channel is more about testimonial, not so much about... He has lots of interviews with other people. Joe Dispenza's books are absolutely amazing, and he breaks down the whole concept about manifestation and how all the possibilities already exist in the field of energy, where we are all connected, where everything is possible. And it is by connecting with those elevated emotions, and by elevated emotions I mean high frequency emotions like joy, gratitude, feeling connected to meaning, meaningful, happiness, truth, love, high frequency emotions, is by connecting or by experiencing those elevated emotions that we can really manifest those potentials that we are visualizing that already exist in the field. So it's not only about making a list, making a wish list. It's not only about visualizing it. It's about the emotional charge. How would you feel if you had that wonderful partner that meets all your requirements? Will you feel loved, grateful, happy? Would you be full of kindness towards them and compassion? That's the type of emotions I'm talking about. So we have to combine both when we do visualization or meditation, visualizing this. Make sure the emotional charge is there. So if you're familiar with manifestation and intention setting techniques, you might be thinking, you know what, I've done countless vision boards. Vision boards is what they call when you kind of put in a whiteboard or something like that all the things you want to manifest, and either you write them down or you draw them. So I've done countless vision boards, and I've visualized it this way and the other way, upside down. I've done all these meditations, all these techniques, and I can't manifest my dream partner or my dream career or whatever it is. So this could be due to two main reasons that people don't take into account when they start setting intentions to manifest what they want, which are: one, the deep inside, either you don't believe that this is possible for you, or you don't believe you deserve it, and you are unconsciously sabotaging yourself. And this is very common. We've all been there. If you feel this is the case, I don't want to give a lot of details about this, but go back to the episode about limiting beliefs, which I think it was the third, I can't remember, 1 or 2 episodes ago. And in this episode, I explained how to identify and remove limiting beliefs with theta healing, which is a very powerful healing technique. So I gave all the details about this. Again, I don't want to make this episode super long when all the information is already in a previous one. But basically the idea is that if you're trying to manifest something and it doesn't happen, one of the reasons it could be that deep inside you don't believe this is possible for you. And sometimes I work with people, and I felt that way sometimes. You think, I know the theory, but I just can't make it happen for myself, or I don't believe that I deserve it. It's too much. Like, why would I be so happy? I wouldn't deserve it. So maybe there are some limiting beliefs you are not aware of, because like I explained in the other episode, most of the limiting beliefs will be operating at the subconscious level, so we might not be aware of them. So it could be the case that you have some limiting beliefs that are stopping you from achieving this, and then you're unconsciously sabotaging ourselves, because those limiting beliefs are the one running the show, like programs installed in a computer. You don't see them, but it doesn't mean that they're not there and that they're not working. The only reason why you might be struggling to manifest something is because you might be trying to manifest something that is not in your highest interest. What do I mean by highest interest? By highest interest, I mean something. I like to think about ourselves as multidimensional beings. So I am much more than flesh and bone, that my body, than Veronica's body, and you are much more than your physical body today in this lifetime. We are part of a soul journey, and our soul journey is based on, or the purpose of our soul journey is for us to grow, to develop ourselves. And by highest interest, what I mean is, if what you're trying to manifest goes against that highest interest, that spiritual development path, that growth path, that self-development path, it might be blocked. And then actually, that could be a blessing that this is being blocked. So, for example, imagine I'm trying to manifest a Ferrari because I love cars and I think having a Ferrari would make me so happy. Maybe deep inside myself, I feel like I don't deserve it, or that maybe that's something that would be really cool to show off in front of my friends, but that's not what I actually want, and I'm sabotaging myself. Or it could be that my soul knows that manifesting a Ferrari is absolutely pointless, and then it's not going to bring me any joy, and actually it might make me a more material person, closer to money, to material things, to the 3D world, call it whatever. So there might be divine intervention for me to not manifest that Ferrari because it would take me down a very bad path. And sometimes I'm sure you have experienced that you have tried to achieve something and it's been blocked, and then later, further down the line, you stop and think and you realize, I'm so glad that didn't happen because it wasn't my path. So going back to the idea of manifestation, once you've written the list, taking these two ideas into account, make sure that whatever you are writing, ask yourself, do I deserve it? Not do I deserve it, because of course you deserve it, but do I believe I deserve it? Do I believe that this is possible for me? And ask yourself, is this in my highest interest? Because you might have to review the list of what you want to manifest. So once you're clear on what you want to achieve for the year ahead, on what you want to attract and manifest, again, spend some quality time and make it kind of a ceremony, a symbolic thing, a ritual, because it will make the intentions much stronger. And like I've said before, connecting with the elevated emotions is going to make a huge difference in the results. So the more ceremonial you make it, the emotion charge is gonna be much stronger, and it's going to be much more powerful. Sorry. And another thing, this is not about doing one ceremony for 20 minutes and your life is suddenly gonna change completely, and everything you wrote down on the list is gonna manifest. I don't believe that is the case. I believe you need to be consistent, and I believe that you still have to put your work towards it. So if you're trying to manifest money to cover your financial needs, if you're trying to manifest having a successful business, no matter how many times you spend sitting on meditation, visualizing being the owner of a successful business, you still have to do the work. You still have to offer your services, your products, to let people know about them. So again, this is not a quick fix. This is not just a magical trick. Like, you will still, if you're looking to manifest a partner, you will still need to do the inner work to make sure you are in resonance with a loving, kind partner. Because I know that there's been a lot of complaints from people who just want a quick fix, who want everything, giving nothing, and metaphysically that's not possible. You're gonna get everything by giving nothing. If you want something, you have to put effort, or you have to work for it, whatever that is. And then you have this whole manifestation gurus who promise that you're going to manifest whatever you want, and then it doesn't work, and then it gives you a bad name, and it gives bad reputation to these techniques and these ideas that are valid, but with some caveats. So like I said, that you have to clear your limiting beliefs first for it to work, that you need to make sure that it's in your highest interest, and because if you don't take this into account, then it's not going to work, and you're going to feel very frustrated. And obviously that no matter what you ask, you will still have to do the work. It's not going to come for free, if that makes sense. It is a great tool so things flow more easily to you, but you still have to make them happen. They're not going to miraculously happen for you while you're sitting on the sofa, if you know what I mean. Right, so that was a lot of information already. Let's do a recap here. So first thing to do when it comes to a year-end review and setting intentions and manifestations for the year ahead. First thing to do, understand your definition of success. Second thing, identify what you want to let go of, because normally when we want to move forward, if it's not flowing, if it's not happening easily, is because there is something blocking it that we either need to heal or remove or unblock. So identify those blocks, what you need to let go of. Third thing, focus on what you are grateful for. And this, again, is something we should practice daily, not only when we are at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year. We should practice gratitude daily. And visualize, when it comes to intention setting and manifestation, visualize what you want to achieve and what you want to manifest with details, and connecting with the elevated emotions you would experience. And whatever you do, make sure you spend quality time. Don't rush this process. Make it a ceremonial event, so it's more emotionally charged and it is more powerful. So that's all I had for you today. I know that was a lot of information. So obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And if you are feeling stuck, if you have identified, I don't know, a belief or an experience or a story that lives within you that you want to let go of and you're not sure how, or you just feel that there are some blocks that are not allowing you to manifest your dream life, this is what I do in my one-on-one coaching and energy healing sessions all the time. So I'm going to leave a link to my website so you can learn more about the work I do, about my approach, and how I can help you to make 2023 the best year yet. And feel free to book a free consultation if you have any questions, if you want to have a chat with me, if you're not sure about the programs that will be better for you. I always offer this option. And that's all from me. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for starting the year here, for being here, for listening to this podcast. And thank you for being part of the Positive Mindset Tribe. If you're enjoying this podcast, I would ask you to please subscribe, give it a good review, and share it with your loved ones. So basically, invite people to join this wonderful tribe. I'm gonna leave some links also. Oh, I forgot to say that I'm going to leave a link to a theta healing meditation I have in my YouTube channel for manifestation, which is very relevant to this topic. So I will leave that in the show notes as well. And just feel free to reach out with any questions or suggestion of topics you would like me to cover in future episodes, to make sure that we have a healthy, positive mindset in 2023 and we can achieve the love, the abundance and the joy we deserve. Okay, my loves, sending much love and light to everyone. See you next week. Bye bye.